Hi, it's mailbag time, I guess, because thank you very much to Dmitro Moglivsky, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, from Palm Harbor in Florida, sent this into the mailbag, but I opened it up because it was a small 7-segment display, and I thought, oh, it might be for that that old multimeter of mine that I'm looking for, like LCD, but I missed that it actually had LED display on it. So let's check out what's in here. This display is available on eBay.com, and it's from a reseller at hubequip.net, and that will redirect you to the eBay store. And I believe they've designed and developed this, and they sell it on eBay. What it is a LED replacement display for the classic HP Agilent 53131 and other models in that series display for the vacuum fluorescent. It's a LED display replacement. Cool. Check that out. Isn't that awesome? So as much as I like VFD displays, I do like LED displays better. And they've actually purpose designed this to actually go into these meters. So there must be enough, like I've heard that the VFDs in these do fail, but there must be enough of them. And they're a big equipment reseller of, old Agilent HP gear like this. So I guess they got sick of all the failed VFDs, so they must have designed this. So this is listed for 160 Yankee bucks or near offer. So they will actually, they did send me, like I had the page up, and it set me through an offer of like 89 Yankee bucks. So yeah, so that's reasonably priced for a custom designed and made LED display. And it comes with these instructions. There's no note with it to tell me the history behind it or anything like that. So I presume it is Dimitro who's actually set this through and has designed and manufactured this and sells it. So that's really cool. I like the effort that's gone into this because it's not going to be easy. But anyway, there's a nice step-by-step guide. Remove the old VFD display here. So it looks like this is the display board in the front of it, and the VFD looks like soldered into, so it looks like we're going to get the desoldering gun out. So it's a through-hole jobby, and then where you hook the wire, the positive lead up to, and the negative lead goes over there, and then it's just designed to be soldered back into place on the board to replace your VFD. So I'm going to give this a go because I do like LED mount displays, and then they give you looks like part of the service guide for how to disassemble your meter and stuff, but there's no note about the history of why. I presume that they were just so frustrated with the failures in the VFDs on these that they designed and built a LED replacement. Cool. Let's go. So this is what the VFD display looks like in my unit. It might have dimmed over the years or something like that. And I think it does give like a brighter digit if you use your cursors or whatnot. But yeah, so it's not the best display. Like, it's there, but it's never that bright, so I've never been impressed with the VFD display in this thing. But I do like my Agilent meter, and I've actually done a video, I'll link it in if you haven't seen it, updating the oven oscillator inside this thing. So it will actually flash like that, for example, brighter and dimmer like that, and it's not very good, so I'm hoping the LED display is better. Now the interesting thing about this is how they've custom designed this thing. So apart from engaging an actual LED display manufacturer, I wonder if they've sort of done a do-it-yourself thing, because the manual actually has this overlay actually printed in it. So you can actually get that overlay from the manual, and then you could produce a see-through sticker thing, which then goes on the top of a custom made LED bezel, and then they've just got surface mount LEDs on the bottom, but these are 14 segment LED displays, so there's a lot of individual LEDs on this board in here. And if we have a look on the bottom, you can see that the looks like the LED display is just done like this, and then they've got little drivers in there like that. It doesn't look 3D printed to me, so I assume that maybe the LEDs are on the surface mount on the board, and then they've got just the custom little light pipes going up, perhaps, and then put a sticker over the top. So I don't know. Maybe Dimitro can leave it in the comments down below how he actually designed and manufactured this, because, you know, you wouldn't be making these in the tens of thousands. Yeah, so if I was designing this and say I wanted, you know, 50 of them or something like that, yeah, I don't know, I would have maybe, you know, 3D printed a custom like holder thing with little like individual, like, and the lights just shine up to the individual things, but then you've got to block them off, you know, so that there's no bleed from one segment to another and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, must be tricky, but I don't want to take it apart to try and see how they've done it, because I don't want to ruin it. It's a bit annoying to get this over the standoffs. They've got one here. There you go, I think. Yeah, there we go. Covers off. Awesome. And annoyingly, this front board has no screws. It's held in with clips up here like this. So, with the tongue at the right angle, you can actually get this out, hopefully. This one clip up here seems a bit annoying. Oh, there we go. Jeez. It's a bit tricky, but there you go. It folds out, and there is our vacuum fluorescent display. It's a thing of beauty, a joy forever. Well, not forever actually, because it will eventually fail. Let's desolder that and replace it with the LED display, shall we? Sounds like a win. There's a lot of pins here. I'll have to get back to you. Well, that actually came out very cleanly. There were two metal strips along either side just holding that in. But yeah, no damage to any of the pins. And the nice thing is that the holes are, you know, quite oversized for the pins, which makes it nice when you're desoldering. So, oh, there you have it. Look. Oh, look, we can see the pattern on the back. Isn't that groovy? Wow, that's great. Wow, look at that. Fantastic. So there you go. So all the driving stuff. So there is likely no driving stuff. Well, they've got some drivers here for the rows and columns, but that's about it. They're just using the existing multiplexing stuff in here, except it's driving a LED display instead of a VFD. So there you go. There's the individual chippies in there. I won't go through and do any reverse engineering on this, but leave it in the comments down below if you want to comment on those. Don't even know what those part numbers are. They don't look like custom gate arrays. They're probably some specific VFD driver thing, perhaps. But anyway, yeah, I think we're good to go. Let's just solder that in. I better read the instructions. Only get one go at it. So yeah, positive wire goes onto there, onto that cap. Well, that's on the. Oh, hello. Yeah, but mine's not yellow. There you go. They upgraded from yellow to black there. Now, I presume that, you know, they've designed this well enough so that because if you have all these segments on, you know, that's going to have a significant current draw. I'm not sure it will be per segment. We can't really get in there and measure a per segment current. I could measure a total current, but I think if we hook this up, we're not going to get anything because there's nothing to drive it. So, yeah, I'm not going to muck around with that. But, yeah, I assume that it's got adequate current to drive it with all the segments on and whatnot. But even if the rail drops a bit, it's just like the front panel stuff. It's not actually, you know, shouldn't affect the rest of it. And our negative is the ground for that terminal, that holding strip that we had. So we just manage the wires under there like that, snake them around the chippies, and pressing it gently on until it touches with the ribbon cable connectors, solder a couple of pins to the top row on each side. So I guess, yeah, until it's pretty much flush, I guess. I'll double check the height measurement though. So there's the top of the PCB there. So that's about, oh, not quite 10.5 mil. And what do we got? Let's just eyeball this from the base of there to, oh yeah, it's pretty close. So yep, I'd say, yeah, you definitely want to put that down flush. And that should be good enough for Australia. Okay, that actually wasn't easy. I've only tacked on the 4 corner pins here, but you remember those little surface mount driver chips we saw on the back of the new LED display there? They actually sit, I'm not sure if you can see that, but they sit on top of and touch and provide a pivot point onto the ribbon cable, the top of the ribbon cable connectors there. So yeah, the placement of those SMDs could have been off those ribbon cables, otherwise, so it doesn't actually sit flush with the ribbon cables. So it's really easy to goof up the alignment of this thing, because it has like one little balance point on there. So yeah, just pay attention to that before you put it down. But that looks pretty good height wise. The balance looks good. Okay, before we reassemble it, let's test it, shall we? Plug her in, and the fan will turn on because the fan is continuous, and this has a soft power button. That's for the ovenized oscillator, which will keep on running, of course. So here we go. Let's turn it on. And whoa, look at that, blue. Beautiful. All the segments lit up, and self-test passed. Boom. Oh, look at that. It doesn't stand out as well as I thought there. I think the individual digits are quite dim in this, but I do like the blue. Look at that. It's just it's picking up just crap because, well, it's unshielded at the moment. I think that's what's happening there. That's a winner, chicken dinner. We might have to do something with the filtering on the front. So we might have to, we put the, oh no, I can still see the blue through there. So it still works. And a rough current measurement there with a decent number of characters on is 150 milliamps, something like that. That's not too shabby. I won't try and get any more accurate than that, but yeah, it should easily be able to supply that. And I've got a treat for you film aficionados. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. And our board seems to have snapped back into place there nicely, because that's the only thing holding on the buttons. And yeah, Bob's your uncle. I did clean the screen on the inside, so there should be no debris there. We'll do a final power on before we assemble it. Now, of course, I've got the blue LED display, which is going to match the, which is similarly matches the color of the VFD. So the filter on it, we didn't have to do anything with that. Oh, see, we got the extra brightness there. So let's call that up again, and you can see that it's doing a similar sort of thing. Hopefully you're picking up that on camera, but anyway, I like the blue display on that. It is brighter than the old VFD display, but not hugely bright that it's going to be annoying in the lab. So I think he's chosen the segment current quite nicely there. So that is fantastic, isn't it? I like it. That's a nice upgrade to a VFD display. Beauty. Winner, chicken dinner. And job complete. So I guess you could call that a preemptive repair, and I never have to worry about the VFD display failing on this thing. So that's a fantastic upgrade. I really like that. And it actually still kind of has that VFD kind of look to it. It's like the segments aren't blaring at you or anything, so, and they're reasonably faint, like flashing there. I'm actually quite surprised how much this looks like a VFD. It's great, yet I never have to worry about it failing, so there you go. I'll link it in down below. So I guess that's a test equipment dealer just getting upset that these things just fail all the time and trying to get VFD replacements for them. And they do sell spare parts, they sell spare connectors and all sorts of things. Anyway, I'll link in their eBay store down below, so check it out. So thank you very much for sending that in. I think that's a great idea to design a custom LED display upgrade like that. That's fantastic. I think it's they only use this in this series counter, so I don't think it'd be compatible with any other Agilent product, but if it is, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, that's great. That is a winner chicken dinner. Preemptive repair, never have to worry about anything ever again. Fantastic. And I kind of like the blue. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And as always, discuss down below. And you can check out the EEVblog.store for all my meters and merch and stuff. And the EEVblog forum is the place to comment if you're not commenting on the YouTubes. Catch you next time.